What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today is August the 4th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update over some of the hot movers and what big money is really doing. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data, don't really have that much coming out today, but despite that, the future is looking pretty a-okay. So Dow is up 0.5, S&P up 0.6, NASDAQ up 0.81, and there hasn't really been any concrete news to justify this green pre-market. So in my opinion, I think it is the market finally digesting what happened on Friday, partially seeing that as a overreaction, so the sell-off was maybe too extreme, and plus because of that negative data, it did justify a both September and also a October cut. And so kind of the data behind the scenes does signal that. So I think the market is starting to price that in my opinion. At the same time, no country really retaliated against the states when they did enforce those tariffs on August the 1st. So I think a combination of that is what is really fueling the broader market today. Of course, we do have a couple big names unveiling their earnings after hours today. Palantir is one of them. Him and Hers Health is another. Very speculative stocks. So I think that could be one big thing that really does move the market today. Getting right to it though, SoFi is up 1.46%, just piggybacking off the broader market. No planned news or fireside chats for them today. So most likely they'll just be, again, just piggybacking off of that. Aside from that though, shorts aren't doing anything in the pre-market. 10.29% of the free float's being shorted though. So most likely they will continue to do what they have been, and that's just been returning small amounts. I do anticipate that to be pretty much the case for the next little bit, foreseeable future, unless something dramatic does happen. But like I said, there isn't really any data this whole week, in fact, that would really justify shorts to double or even triple down. But right now with it at 21.52 in the pre-market, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 21.02 is going to be a strong support. So if you're wanting to kind of dollar cost average or whatever else, or even swing trade, that might be a good position to potentially buy. And then 21.86 followed by 22.39 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Moving on, Opendoor. So they are up and getting a lot of volume so far during the pre-market because of what they put out Friday after hours ish, so 5 p.m. And so ultimately they did regain compliance with the NASDAQ, and also they did cancel their special meeting of shareholders. So I think that's kind of the most bullish scenario that would have played out for investors. So I know before this was even done and before they even adjourned the old meeting, that's one thing that a lot of retail was saying is, hey, we're going to regain compliance naturally and they're going to cancel the meeting. So round of applause to those individuals that did call that. But aside from all that though, shorts most likely will be fairly active as per usual. So 28.93% of the free float is being shorted. So they've been very, very active lately. Opendoor also does have their earnings coming out tomorrow, so that should be a fun time. So it does come out, looks like after hours on the 5th, -2 cents for the earnings per share is the estimate, and then 1.5 billion for the revenue. So pretty good stuff. And even over the last 90 days, you've seen 5 positive and 0 negative revisions to the earnings per share. So this one definitely one to watch for. Right now with it at 242 though, you're just trading between this pivot and this S1. So 207 is going to be a strong support. Just watch for that. And then 319 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Moving on from here, ticker is REPL. So in the pre-market, it is down 37%. And that is just because of a lot of lawsuits. It looks like there's a lot of ambulance chasers that's been hounding them, and it looks like it kind of started on August the 1st. So you can kind of just see based on a lot of the latest news, just the fact that like lawsuit. So looks like I don't exactly know the basis of it, but ultimately, yeah, it looks like this is spooking the broader market for sure. Looking for today though, 22.95% of the free float's being shorted. Similarly, they aren't doing anything during the pre-market, and they have been very, very reactive to the price. So clearly they do make up a good chunk of the daily volume. So just anticipate that to be a kind of a suppression cause or whatever, if that makes sense. But with it right now at 484, It is trading between this pivot and this S1. 362 is going to be a strong support. 765 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Moving on from here, ticker is PBM, and so it is up 90%. Friday was horrific because it went down 53.08%, and then over the last 1 year it is down 99.31. Reason why they are going up is because of this. So corporate update August 2025. So of course, as I've explained to a lot of you in the past, biotechs aren't really my forte, but this is ultimately what is causing it to go higher. I kind of read through it vaguely. Nothing really stood out to me that I needed to like stop what I'm doing and buy this. But for those of you that are more familiar with the day-to-day updates, maybe this makes a little bit more sense, and there's some pretty big catalysts in here. But nonetheless, though, you can kind of see that this is a one-off. So management clearly saw what happened on Friday, and this is their attempt at trying to rectify that, because they haven't and they don't normally do these updates at all. And so I think in reality, this is something that you need to be rather cautious about, because it doesn't look like it's heavily shorted. So only 4.02% of the free float's being shorted. So most likely this has been going down because of actual institutions selling. So just don't, in my opinion, this one might be a little bit hype, but might be best to kind of avoid. With it right now at 446 or 449 now, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 441 and 267 is going to be support levels, and then 722 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So this one definitely could go higher, but like I said, I think outside of this one-off type of thing, I don't know if this is one that you need to really buy into. So let me know your thoughts on that, and if you disagree, or for those of you that are familiar with that company, let me know in the comments below on what stood out in that update that is causing so much FOMO. But moving on, ticker is HCTI, so it is up 3.37% during the pre-market, and honestly there hasn't been any news, no SEC filings, just a very abnormal amount of volume. They did a reverse stock split though on August the 1st, a 1 for 249, so kind of random for that, but nonetheless this is one of those odd types of scenarios that you see a abnormal amount of volume post a reverse stock split. And when it comes down to it, 0.04% of the free float's being shorted. So this definitely isn't heavily shorted whatsoever. So that's not going to be most likely a attributing cause for today. With it though, at 491, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. Obviously with the reverse stock split, I do have to look at the 4 hour. It's just very wide gaps. So 715 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and then 288 is going to be its strong support. So I don't really anticipate either of them to be touched in reality, but most likely you will just kind of watch for the whole numbers if you're going to be swing trading it, day trading it, or whatever else. But I think just based on the recent price action over the last 1 year alone, this is very telling of what potentially to expect with this stock. So down 96.95%. But again, I could be wrong. Let me know your general thoughts on this stock and everything else I did kind of mention. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.